So, can't do it. So, let's say you call your friend a 1950s housewife. What does that comment mean to you? Is that a compliment or an insult? Where does that lie? What's the connotation, right? And let's say you have another friend and she's a stay-at-home mom. What's your opinion of that? What does that job title really mean? What weight does it hold in your mind? Hey, I'm Macy Joy, and I've got a few thoughts I'd like to share. So, when I was younger, I definitely recall thinking like a stay-at-home mom was the title you got when you didn't have a job. Like, if you didn't work, then you were just defaulted stay-at-home mom or dad. And to me, it kind of meant that you weren't able to hold down both things. You weren't able to take care of your house and hold down a job at the same time. That's how it appeared, because it seemed like some moms can work and some moms can't work at the same time. Why does that vary? And so it just felt like if you're not able to work and raise your family, then that would be the lazier position. That would be what that defaults to. And now, as a stay-at-home mom with 2 little kids, I'm personally offended that was my own opinion. And then same thing goes for the 1950s housewife. I remember specifically doing things for my husband after we first got married because I wanted to be kind and intentional and love him well. I wanted to make his lunch for him in the morning when he would go to work because we had both just wrapped up college. He was starting his full-time job. I was starting my job hunt. And so I had a little bit more free time, and I wanted to be able to like show him that I cared. With that free time, I wanted to be intentional and pack his lunch for him. And then I felt like this seems like something a 1950s housewife would do, so maybe I shouldn't be doing that. I remember that distinctly. Like, he's a grown man. He can make his own lunch. He doesn't need me to do that. And while that's true, the sentiment is that no, he doesn't need me to do that, and it would just be loving and kind of me to do that for him because I'm able to. And it relieves a little bit of stress on him, and it's a way I can show him I love him. That's not a bad thing. So I kind of started to wrestle with all of that then, and I distinctly remember going back to work after my son was born when he was about 3 months old. And at the time, it was a lot to juggle. I wasn't sure how I was going to get everything done. I thought like for sure I can do both. It's just a part-time job. Like, it shouldn't be hard to like find a few hours during the week while I'm home with this baby and get some work done. And I thought I could work while he rested, but I wasn't really able to get much done. There was a lot of nursing involved. It was just a huge time commitment, and I had no idea prior to having a baby what that would look like. So at the time, I had my mom help me, and while that worked for a little bit, it wasn't a long-term solution, and I ended up having to choose between my part-time job and staying home with my baby. And ultimately, just financially, the job didn't offer enough money for me to make a profit after paying somebody to watch him if I were to put him in daycare, so I could then go to work, even for part-time. And so the decision was made for me. I stayed home with my baby boy, and I'm so glad I did. I absolutely love that I get to spend time with him, and I really had to face the truth too, that if it wasn't me staying home with him, somebody else would be taking care of my son for me. It's not that that job doesn't get done if I'm working. It's that it gets done by somebody else. All of those hours that it takes, all of that focus, it's still necessary, and somebody else would have to do it if it weren't me. I think that was the first stepping stone to reckoning with that truth and the understanding of what a stay-at-home mom looks like. I would like to challenge your personal idea of stay-at-home mom and 1950s housewife. Like, do you think that those are positive terms? Why or why not? This morning, I was making breakfast for my family. I put on my apron because I had already gotten ready, and as I'm like preparing everything and cleaning the kitchen to get the table set, I felt so much like a 1950s housewife. And just like when I was newly married making lunch for my husband, I questioned like, okay, is this a good thing, or is this like a little too much? Is this a little too picturesque? Is there a standard put on me that shouldn't be put on me? And I don't think so. I was just loving my family well. And this doesn't happen every day. Like, it really doesn't. It's Father's Day. I was just trying to like show my husband, like, I love you. Let me make you breakfast. Because I love him. I don't think that's a bad thing. And it's taken me so long to get past this stereotype. So I'm setting the table and everybody sits down to eat, and I'm last to get to the table because I was trying to make sure that everything's cleaned up. And I feel like my grandma. And I realize it's not this terrible thing to be a 1950s housewife. My grandma got married to her husband, my grandpa, in 1956, I believe. And they raised 3 wonderful children who all have great families now, and they all have great relationship with each other. Like what my grandparents did, what they gave to their children, was beautiful. And so it's an honor to sit down and feel like my grandma. How cool is that? So I'm really sad to admit that I thought poorly of these things prior, but I want to share that with you because I hope that you can learn a little bit too, maybe sooner than I did. I really think culture kind of fed me this idea, and it would have driven me further from what I actually want and value had I believed culture instead of pursuing good things like loving my husband well and loving my family well by preparing them breakfast. To sit down and feel like my grandma is such an honor. She's a wonderful woman and I love her so much. And she has given so much love to so many people. She's so generous. I want to be just like her. So I hope all of that was helpful to hear. Just a little journey I've been on in my head. And to be honest, I've been thinking about this for years now. And I just felt like it really came full circle when I felt like my grandma this morning. What an honor to feel like her. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you go read the Bible. Truly, it's life-changing. Okay,